All right, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk about frogs today. There are lots of varieties of hollow-bodied frogs, right? And I think a lot of people get mixed up on when to fish what, right? So let's go through a few different things, right? So let's start off with spawn, because we're about to come up on spawn. Do not rule out a frog during spawn. Don't. Now, do you need to use a normal, natural color? No. Actually, do the opposite. Go with the most annoying, loud, chartreuse, pink, red, something crazy. But just make sure you cast past the bed. Let all of the waves dissipate, and then slowly move that forward over the bed, and just let it sit. You don't have to do anything. Just let it sit. It'll get its attention. As soon as it gets its attention, you twitch it once. Just small twitch. It's dead. That's a fish, right? So keep that in mind during spawn. You don't have to outlaw topwaters. These are great for that. I've done it hundreds of times and it works, right? For almost other times, unless I'm, if I'm not fishing around heavy matted vegetation, when I'm searching for a frogfish to see if that's a bite, if there's a bite there, I'm using one of these. A lot of people use buzz baits and all that, but I prefer this. I will throw this. It's got a little boot tail on it. It does the same thing as a whopper plopper, right? It's back there, it's churning, it's doing its thing. These things work very well, right? This one's actually made by Teckle, I think. Yeah, I've got one right here. A little different color, but comes with a little extra boot. These things work when you're searching, right? If you're covering water and you're trying to find some active fish, these are great. The hooks are separated out pretty good. This really soft body, got a good hookup ratio. You don't have to really do any modification to these. At least I don't, right? Great search bait. When you catch a couple on it in, kind of open water, you might want to slow down, just throw the normal frog, right? This happens to be the same exact color because I'm a big believer in this color. But you can slow down and walk these, just your traditional walk. I tend to do a cadence like pop, 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 that type of thing. And that seems to produce most of the bites. There are some times where it's just a steady walk. There are some times where I got that thing just like you drink a gallon of Mountain Dew and I'm just popping it all over the place. It really depends, and they will tell you how they want it. There's a lot of different types of frogs. So, I showed you that one, and this is the same manufacturer. It's Reaction Innovations. Real narrow profile, real soft, hooks stick up, good hookup ratio. These are my favorite. Hands down, favorite frog. Even though the owner called and yelled at me for no reason one day. Different story, different video. If you see it, you can call me back and apologize. But anyway, you got the narrow ones. I like these in kind of open water around stick ups, lay downs, those type of things, docks, that kind of stuff. I tend to go with, like, this one's a live target. Same thing, real soft body. You might want to pull these hooks up just a little bit, but otherwise, I mean, they work great. But I use the wider bellies when I'm over matted vegetation. I'll put a couple rattles in there, maybe shove in a weight so it puts a little bit bigger indention into the grass as it's coming across there. Perfect for that. I use the wider bodies for the matted stuff, right? And again, have had great success over the years. I mean, I've made more money off frogs than I have any other lure. And then you've got some of the other ones like 6th Sense, right? They've got the spitting type, right? You can kind of see the cup where it spits or whatever. To be honest, it's a really narrow profile, good for fishing like a popper. Not the easiest to walk because there's not a big keel there, but you can walk them and you can cause a little extra commotion just because of the spitting, right? And you know, it works. Let's see what else we got. Lily pads. Lily pads I kind of switch up. I will go with one of these. You know, y'all remember these? It's another live target deal. But how many times have you come across lily pads and seen a minnow just flipping across the top, just trying to get back in the water? Those fish sit there and wait. I have seen this over and over. I have caught more fish just playing with lily pads and how to activate them with a lure on top of the lily pad. This works really well. You can still use the same old shit. You can use the frogs or whatever and do the same thing, but being that this has got the right profile, it works. It looks like a bait fish on a lily pad. Drives the bass nuts, right? So, you know, it really matters, the conditions, the structure that you're fishing, all those things. It comes into play every time. There are all sorts of frogs on the market. And some of them are good, some of them aren't. You know, you have some, you know, if you go back, let's go back to Spro, right? This is a Spro, watermelon red one, right? Got the wide body pretty much, but this isn't as soft. And the hooks, look how they're just even with this. So if you don't get a good bite in here, so the recommendation with Spro is always bend these hooks out just a little bit. This isn't as soft as some of the other frogs out there. And trust me, I've tried them all. I've got a whole box full of them in front of me. I got a whole wall of them, anywhere from 6th Sense, Reaction Innovations, Toad Thumper, Teckle, Strike King, I mean, Booyah, you name it. I've got it hanging on this wall. I spent, when I first got into kind of competitive fishing, I had a pond at my house in East Texas. And I'd come home from work every day and I would go out there and I would tie a frog on and I would learn how to work these things. You have levels, right? Working it, popping it, it's one. Working it, making it walk the dog, great, right? Figuring out how to do a cadence with that walk the dog, like pop, 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 pause, and it's doing this, and you pause, and then you pop, pop, bum, bum, right? Those things matter. You can't just throw it out there. And I see a lot of people, they got their rod tip up in the air and they're moving it across, and I'm like, what are you doing? And some of those guys get bit, but what that tells me is they could be fishing with a buzz bait or one of these if you're gonna do that, right? If you're really having to finesse a frog into getting a bite, you're walking it. Biggest tip I can give you. Figure out how to walk it. Keep that little C in your line, keep your rod tip down, walk that damn thing, figure it out, figure out different cadences, how to do it fast, how to do it slow, how to pause, all those things. Once you get that, you can get to a point where you can walk that frog, stop, and you can hit it hard once and make that thing, it'll be facing like this. If you hit it hard once, it turns around and looks right back at the bass that was chasing it. Nothing, and I mean nothing, pisses off a bass more than their prey turning around and challenging. Figure that out. If there's anything I can do, hit me up. I'll try and teach you virtually how to do it. I may do a video on how to do it. It's something I learned to do a while back. If you can do that, walk it, stop, pop it once, and it turns around, it gets destroyed every time. Every time. So, keep that in mind. Frog fishing is one of the things that I've probably won more money on than any other technique. I pride myself in this. I spent a lot of time learning how to fish every single one of them. And I know there's all these other people, Dean Rojas and Fred Robanis and all these other people. No disrespect to them, but I'd put myself up against them any day of the week. And, you know, Dean lives here. Bring it on. Anyway, frog fishing. 101. Start with a search bait. Slow down, follow it up. Like I said, these type of things here, when it comes to conditions, cloud cover. One thing that's been a myth to me is that you need to throw dark colors when it's cloudy. No, I'm throwing this and this when it's cloudy, and I'm getting bit a lot, right? There are some times, like on Sam Rayburn, where you can take a black and chartreuse frog. This one doesn't have the stripes on the bottom, but at Sam Rayburn, what they really like there, you can thank me later, I took a pencil eraser and erased the black, a little couple lines here and there, and then I took a bottle of JJ's Magic with a Q-tip and I colored in those white spots with that chartreuse. Absolutely killed them at Sam Rayburn. It's one of those things that I don't know if anybody's ever really picked up on, but you get around them lily pads on Sam Rayburn, black, chartreuse. You can thank me later. I'll still be here, I hope. When it's sunny outside, you kind of want the more natural colors. You want the browns and whites. You want the browns, right? You want the natural colors in the sunlight. Can you catch fish on the other ones? Probably. If it's a shad bite, you're just gonna stick, this is a 6th Sense one, a hush frog or whatever. If it's a shad bite, you're gonna stick with the shad color. It doesn't matter if it's sunny or not. But if you're mimicking a frog, stick with the natural stuff, right? When it's sunny. When it's cloudy, experiment. Don't stick to the old wives' tale of throwing, oh, you gotta throw dark. Nah, I can't tell you how many fish. And as soon as the sun came out, I couldn't get bit on them, but I turned around and I picked up one of these and got bit. So, again, this is all in an effort to help people understand how to frog fish. I use an impulse rod, 7'3", heavy with an extra fast tip. It's my favorite rod to do that with. And I can't tell you how many fish I've caught doing this. I've lost count. I will do another video. I'll use the pool or something, or maybe I'll just use the meta glasses and I'll show you how to walk it, how to do different things, and we'll go through this together. If you have any questions, holler at me. I'm right here, always willing to help, especially when it comes to my specialty. And the challenge still stands. Y'all want to have a frog tournament? Let's go. See you on the next one. If you liked what you learned or didn't learn, subscribe, follow, whatever the hell it is you do on YouTube. This is only like my 4th video.